Yeah.
Okay, welcome Team Galloway to the final week of May, the May Games, the Health Games. And I want to welcome Ann Crawford, Ruth Lampe, Linda Lamb, and Karen Clemens. And this is Friday night before the Memorial Day weekend, and I wanted to be sure we talk about weekend barbecues and summertime preparation for summertime. So the first thing I wanted to share with you is I have really been enjoying some of the new features of the health games, like some of the My Stories that they've been printing. Like yesterday, there was a really outstanding one about someone's 7-year-old being affected by the
Yeah.
health games. I thought that was really cool. And then today, there was a really neat video about sleep and sleep apnea. And towards the end, I really liked how she talked about how, there's two different hormones, ghrelin and leptin, that are manufactured in our brain. But she was talking about how lack of sleep interrupts both of those. And she basically said, completely broken down your hunger thermostat when you are not sleeping properly. And I thought, whoa. See, those two hormones help regulate hunger and help regulate satiation, satiety, feeling satisfied. So, we really are getting some outstanding information, through these health games. And again, here we are. This is the 22nd of May. And I want to announce to those of you who are going to listen to this recording that the June games have officially opened. And I will post the link on our wall tonight. Invite your friends, because getting healthy is contagious. Inviting your friends to do this with you. And some of the things I can tell you about the June games, I heard a video today that talked about they're simplifying it even more. They're making it better than before. They're updating the daily readings because, a number of us have been in on 3, 4, or 5 health games. And there's going to be some new point activities that they're announcing. And one is called a surprise Dr. A health tip, whatever that is. So anyway, I'm looking forward to selecting 4% for my June games. And so tonight, before we have much discussion, I kind of wanted to chat about, when we have summer barbecues and summer plans, some things that I can share with you is plan ahead. When you're going to be going to a buffet, a party, a barbecue, plan ahead and offer to bring a dish. Bringing a veggie dish, assures you that there's going to be something there that you can eat. And then remember why you're there. You're there to reconnect with friends and family, and build relationship. I know a lot of times when we talk about holidays, we think about food, like, the cookout on 4th of July or the turkey on Thanksgiving. But what really is meaningful to us is building those relationships and reconnecting with family and friends. And then make choices that are going to support your journey, your health journey. And I thought this was kind of interesting because, this is just one meal, a holiday meal, and you can make choices to support your journey because your goal is a lifetime of health. So with that in mind, that can give us the oomph to make some healthier choices when we see that buffet. Another suggestion is to make your plate, carry it back to your table, put your back to the buffet table so that you're leisurely eating your meal and that you're focusing on fellowshipping, connecting with the friends and family that are there. And the other thing is keep me on speed dial. Give me a call. If you're feeling tempted while you're there, or if you want to talk about your plan, as you're planning to go. And, I might be able to give you a recipe idea too. So with that introduction, as you're thinking about family barbecues and other kinds of celebratory things that happen in the summertime, do any of you have a suggestion that you'd like to share tonight?
Well, I don't have to worry about it because it's just the two of us. We're not doing anything for the holiday.
Okay, well, that's this weekend. But sometime this summer, like you may be invited to a 4th of July cookout, or a
birthday party next weekend.
Okay, or a birthday party. How about you, Karen? Do you have a suggestion?
Well, we've just been doing a lot of, because we get invited to things all the time. And 2 weeks ago, we had a wedding on Mother's Day that we went to, and it was kind of odd. It was a potluck wedding. So I knew some of the people that would be cooking, and so I just told my daughter and I, we're just going to do something healthy and whole foods that, that we know at least there'll be one thing. And as it turned out, there was only one other person that even brought a salad. Everything else was like pasta and fried foods and pizza and things like that. So we were able to eat we took a chicken, mushroom, and fresh basil dinner, and then we also brought fresh fruit.
Yay!
We've really been trying to do whole foods and raw foods.
Okay. How about you, Ruth? Do you have a suggestion when you're invited to a birthday or a celebratory dinner sometime this summer?
Well, we're having a big thing the last Sunday of May at church, and I'm in charge of kind of the whole shebang. So the fortunate thing about being in charge is I'm too busy to eat. But I always make sure that there is a green vegetable because I'm usually the only one that brings a green vegetable. I do my stellar green beans. It usually Bob's out of the freezer, but this year I'm going to have to do canned because we may not be able to put any more in the freezer this year.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how well the garden does.
Well, that's a good point because, when we're invited to potluck dinners, church celebrations, and there's going to be a crowd of people there, for years I've been very careful to either bring a sugar-free dessert and or a salad because I know there's other diabetics there. And see, that was because I was diabetic for 10 years. And so I was a lot more focused on that. So even though most of us on this call are not diabetic, as we're going to be in a large group, we can do the diabetics and the people who are health conscious a favor by showing up with a large salad or a large veggie platter or fresh fruit. And you're supporting yourself as well as some other people that have some, health needs. I'm thinking specifically diabetes. How about you, Anne? Do you have a suggestion on going to certain barbecues or dinners this summer?
Well, don't go back for refills.
Yes. Good point. Don't go back for refills. And that was my point. That was what I was saying. Make your plate and then go to your table and put your back to the food. Don't go back for refills. And another thing that's helpful is to put a glass of water in your dominant hand. And, that's the hand you would be reaching for a cookie or whatever. But if you have your water in your dominant hand, you're less likely to reach for that cookie or, another plate of something. So exactly.
And don't act like you're ambidextrous.
Right.
Yes.
Especially with a cookie in each hand.
Yeah. Don't show off being ambidextrous at one of these meals.
Right.
Well, and another thing I want to encourage you is anytime I go to a meal like this, I take time to eat a healthy snack before I go, which includes protein. And that way I don't arrive ravenous.
Right.
And that way I can eat moderately. I can sample things that are there and not fall into eating things that aren't on the best plan for me, and whether that's eating some, cheese and a veggie or cheese and fruit or a meal replacement, whatever, but something that has protein in it will really go a long way to keep you from having cravings. And you'll arrive there, not, like I said, not starving, because again, I want to share that acrostic BLAST, BLAST. Don't let yourself get too bored, too lonely, too angry, too stressed,
Tired.
and tired. Yeah, it was funny. I was looking at my hand and I was putting a B right here. But anyway, see, it's kind of funny. Americans count like this. We start with the first finger. Russians count with the little finger. They do this. I noticed that when I was with some Russian pastors.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. But anyway, so BLAST includes be careful not to allow yourself to get too bored, lonely, angry, stressed, or tired, because those can all be triggers to eating more than you intend. And, this is another little, I just thought today, another thing that I used to do, once I knew I had eaten a meal, I used to go brush my teeth, to keep myself from, eating something right afterwards. Sometimes you can just kind of mindlessly do this. Well, I recently got a water pick, and I thought, whoa, I should go and use my water pick. That's even better than brushing the teeth. You really feel.
You really don't want to get your mouth dirty after that.
Exactly. Well, tell me, ladies, this week, tell me one thing you learned, either on the wall or in something you read that you'd like to share tonight. Karen, do you have something you've learned this week?
I think it was about the hormones and about the brain.
Are you talking
excreting those hormones?
Are you talking about the sleep apnea or the sleep?
Yeah.
The video we saw today about the leptin and ghrelin.
Yes.
Mhm. Yes, that was very enlightening, because I am a night owl, long time night owl. And I have not, up until I moved here, I used to get 4 hours sleep, then maybe take an afternoon nap. I did that for years. So, I'm realizing now.
We've lost your audio.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Back now.
Okay. I've got a little thing here that says my internet connection's unstable. Sorry about that. But anyway, what I was saying, that this video, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Today, this video that talked about those two hormones, ghrelin and leptin, having to do with sleep regulating, how satisfied you may feel, and sleep impacting your ability to lose weight. It really hit home to me, because I've been a night owl for decades, and used to get by with cat naps, basically sleeping 4 hours a night, getting my family off and taking a 2 or 3 hour nap. And I'm realizing that that's not helping me, So, I'm looking forward in the future, the next time I have health insurance, I really do want to get a sleep study, because as my dear friend in San Diego, MJ Wilkerson, told me the last time I went to the women's retreat, Pammy, you sound like a freight train, as far as my snoring. So, I really think maybe I've had some sleep apnea issues here. Well, Anne, show us what you want to show us tonight. I see you have an apparatus to help you with.
My brother gave my husband and me each a set of these.
Okay.
But I didn't realize my own strength, because I had to use both hands to press it.
Yeah.
Well, I broke one of them.
Oh. All right. All right. Now.
I've gotten so much stronger since Meltdown Challenge.
Okay. Woohoo! All right.
That's right.
She's building muscle. All right. Okay. Ruth, again, was there something you learned this week, either on the wall or something you learned about yourself or your own experience that you want to share with the girls tonight?
I think the main thing I learned this week was more spiritual.
Okay.
It does have to do with our, it was what I used to do because I was afraid not to. I need to do because God loves me and he wants me to love my body.
Okay. So in other words, previously you may have done taken care of yourself out of duty rather than out of
I knew what would happen if I didn't.
Out of fear?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he doesn't want us to live out of fear. He wants us to live out of love.
Good point. Good point.
Because he loves me and wants me to take care of my body because he loves my body and he wants me to love my body.
Mm-hmm.
Then I need to do what I do out of love for him and for myself, not out of fear.
Well, you know, I loved what you shared last week. You mentioned, we were all talking about how our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. And I think it was you that mentioned that our bodies are a permanent dwelling, not a rental or a timeshare.
Right.
I thought, whoa, you know, that means I need to take care of my body every year, you know, in and out of season.
Right.
You know.
Full time.
Full time, exactly. Full time, not a part time timeshare.
Long term.
Yes, long term. Long term. Exactly. Let's see. Linda, did you have something you want to share? Something you learned this week?
On one of the water postings, I knew about all the things that water can do for us, but somehow I always miss the one about it helping your blood pressure.
Really?
And I have had some issues with my blood pressure rising a bit, and I didn't associate it with the not drinking enough water.
Okay. So are you seeing a better regulated blood pressure now that you're being more intentional about water?
Yes.
Oh, yay. You know, I didn't know that about water. Now my eyes must have sort of floated over that.
That was on one of the ones just this past week.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So, Anne, was there something you learned this week?
Well, I learned self-restraint. I baked Joseph a German chocolate cake, and I got one taste of it, and that was all.
So in other words, you were practicing self-restraint, and you know, I have to admire you because that's my favorite cake, German chocolate. I think I would have a hard time taking just one bite, but anyway.
It'd be easier to not make the cake.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not
my husband though.
Well, I know.
He wanted it.
I know, and you did it out of love for him. Good for you. Good for you. And
one bite. Could I do just one more little tidbit about our buffet?
Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
If there is something on that buffet that you think looks so delicious and wonderful and you would at least like to know how it tastes, one bite. Just put one bite on your plate. Don't put a whole spoonful.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two things that may not be totally on your plan, but one bite. But if you put it on your plate, you're probably going to eat it. So don't put more than one bite.
Well, you know, that's a good point. If there's some things that look really delicious and you want to sample them, you know, a teaspoonful or something like that, you know, it's not
a tablespoon.
Well, but you know what I'm saying, a very small morsel allows you to taste it, sample it, and say, that was really delicious. And again, there are times you may want to share a dessert, you know, with a person or multiple people at the table. Yes, and you know, Dr. A tells us that even when we're having dessert, the satisfaction comes from the first 3 or 4 bites.
Right.
So, you know, you can share the calories, you know. As now Jerry is not here tonight, but one time he wrote on our wall, once past the lips, forever on our hips.
Yeah.
So, you know, or you know, until we are mindful enough to make enough changes to lose, you know, weight. But do you have something to share, Karen? I can't.
Sorry, it wouldn't unmute. No, I just, when we go to a buffet or anything, I just try to go one time. I mean, just get everything I'm going to get and not ever go back.
Exactly.
So I get my salad, my drink, my entree, everything, all at the same time, and I don't go back.
Exactly. Well, you know,
I have one also that I have found that helps me the most. I know that sugar is where my problem is. So when we have like our buffet at our pep group meeting, then I have Ruth she makes my dessert plate because she can control what I eat, and then I won't go up there to get more.
Well, you know, having a buddy system, you know.
It has helped me tremendously.
Sure. And, you know, there's a few people at my church that bring a sugar-free pie, you know, each time. And that's because the husband's diabetic, you know, that sort of thing. You know, as we're winding down this call, I see that we have almost a 2-minute warning. I want to, again, encourage you in your success, your personal health journey. I want to encourage you to re-enroll in the June Health Games and invite your friends. Follow up with a phone call. And, you know, it's all about learning and growing and never giving up. You know, a number of us have been on this journey many years, decades. Myself, over 3 decades, you know, 35 years. So, you know, it's a journey that a number of us have been struggling for decades. And so it's a matter of learning and growing and being intentional and just never giving up. So does anyone have a last-minute comment? Ann?
Well, I have a mild case of sleep apnea.
Okay.
I didn't realize it until my husband, you know, keep waking me up. He said I'd quit breathing.
Now, do you sleep with a CPAP?
No, it's not that severe.
Well,
it's a lot better since I've lost weight.
Okay. Well, you might get that checked on because, you know, in that video we saw today, you know, if you think you have sleep apnea, it's important to have a sleep study so that it can be treated effectively because it affects more than just how you feel. It affects your heart health.
Well, every time I mention it, my husband calls me a hypochondriac.
No. You mention it to your doctor. You have a conversation with your doctor about it. That's something between you and your doctor. You can decide whether to have a sleep study because it does affect heart health and various areas of your health.
My brother has it, and so does my son.
Okay, there you go. It's good to get it checked out. So with that, Karen, do you have a parting comment?
No, I'm just listening to everybody.
Okay.
Watching my daughter lay here in pain.
Okay. Well, I want to wish you guys a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and have a great week. Make it a healthy week for you and your family.